Ramakatha Rasavahini, Prema Sudhamritavahini, Sathya Sanatani Dharma Swarupini, Shanti Pradayini Mokshakarini, Ramakatha Rasavahini, Ramakatha Rasavahini.
Sai Ram, everyone. We will start the study cycle with 3 Omkarams. Om. 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 Sai Ram. Just to recollect where we are in chapter 5 of Ramakatha Rasavahini. The 4 brothers, Sri Rama and the 3 brothers, have completed their studies with sage Vasishtha. They had returned to the palace and they were given the training on the wielding of various weaponry. Thereafter, they were involved in some of the administration work. They were taking part in them as for training purposes. And on one day, King Dasharatha told the minister Sumantra that they should be given an opportunity to learn Paravidya, because Paravidya is essential for them to cultivate appropriate qualities for them to be able to discharge their duties as they grow before the worldly attractions distract them. And that's what King Dasharatha had told Sumantra. And there were preparations being made for the princess to undertake a pilgrimage trip. That's where we are. We will just read the same paragraph from last week, which I don't think we completed the discussion, and then continue from there. Sai Ram. Uncle Gopalan, you can just read.
Om Sri Sai Ram. Elated at the prospect of the princess getting this great opportunity, Sumantra had all preparations made to his satisfaction. He got ready himself to accompany them. The queens came to know of the pilgrimage that the princes were undertaking. They were delighted that the princes were going on such a holy venture, and they made many things ready to render it as happy and useful as possible. They arranged a few nurses for them and some comrades of their own age to accompany them. The princes too were beside themselves with joy at the prospect of visiting the sacred places of the land. They enthused their companions and sought from the king equipment and clothes for them also. The next day, when the auspicious hour specially selected for the journey arrived, the princes bowed before the parents, touching their feet with their foreheads. They fell at the feet of the preceptor. The mothers placed holy dots on their forehead and cheeks to ward off the evil eye and to guard them against evil. They discarded royal robes and put on the habiliment of pilgrims. That is to say, silk dhotis round the waist, and silk shawls wrapped around the shoulders, and taking leave of all, they ascended the chariot. The palace resounded with shouts of victory, rising from thousands of citizens who had gathered to see them off. The chariot moved on with guards before and behind. Sai Ram, thank you.
Sai Ram, everyone. Thank you very much, Uncle. Sai Ram, everyone. If anyone would like to discuss any of the points from these two paragraphs, please do so. I think we had read the Telugu last week, so I will just open up discussion of any points or any topics which will come out here. I think when it's okay. Yes, Sister Aruna.
No, brother. I thought other question will come, but for me, just little things I wanted to understand why they say they're touching their feet with their forehead. Is there any significant around that touching forehead when they are bowing down to their parents? Then the holy dots, they are talking about the forehead and cheek for the evil eye and all. Nowadays we don't follow any of those things, kind of the holy dots and all. I don't know, in India they follow maybe. I wanted to understand a little more about that too. That's all the things I have on this. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Sister. Just to on the touching the forehead, is Swami did not specifically mention touching of the forehead on the feet. He said namaskarinchu. That means they bowed down to the feet of the parents, mothers and the parents and the gurus. And that's what Swami has said. But I think the forehead was not mentioned in the Telugu. But I will ask Mani Aunty to reconfirm that.
Samim, can I read this for paragraph?
Yes, Aunty. Yes, Aunty.
రెండవ దినము సుముహూర్తమును సమీపించగనే తల్లులకు తండ్రికి నమస్కరించి గురువు వారికి నమస్కరించి తల్లులతో హారతులు అందుకుని దృష్టి చుక్కలను రక్ష చుక్కలను పెట్టించుకొని రాజు వేషములు విప్పి సామాన్య యాత్రికుల వేషములు అనగా పట్టుదోతులను కట్టి అంగవస్త్రములు కప్పి రథముల్లో కూర్చొని జయధ్వనితో రథములను కదిలించివి. So it doesn't say anything about that, only namaskaram to the elders. And of course, the mentioning of that Drishti Chukka and this says Raksha Chukka and Drishti Chukka. They were kept by their mothers. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Aunty. So, yes, Sai Ram, Sita Ram, please go ahead.
Sai Ram, Anna. I think the first line on the English translation says Sumantra. And Swami mentioned Sumanta. Are they both interchangeable terms or? Just want to check.
I think Sumanta, Sumantara, both Swami has used at different points. That's what I see.
Okay.
I think they're interchangeably used. They mean the same thing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sai Ram.
So I think sisters, yes, Beena, please go ahead.
Sai Ram, I'm just wondering what kind of holy places, if anything, our Swami has mentioned about that because it's a Treta Yuga. If anything mentioned, so I'm just wondering what holy places could be. Of course, it's a Ganga that there must be quite a lot of, but any particular, anybody has to say anything about that? Sai Ram.
I think There is a mention of, there's a various descriptions in the subsequent paragraphs. So I think it will come to light. But it's generally the Tirtha Yatra is, along the banks of the rivers is what I understand. But we can always discuss that when Swami is taking us through the next few paragraphs. I hope it's okay.
Swami, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Aunty, please go ahead.
Swami mentions in the subsequent paragraphs about Kashi Nunchi,
Yes.
Kashi. He mentions about that. కన్యాకుమారి మొదలు కాశ్మీర్ వరకు ఉత్తర దక్షిణ తూర్పు పడమర సముద్రములు తీరములు వరుసగా క్షేత్రమును. Later on we come across.
Yeah, we will be discussing that in detail, so I'm sure there'll be lots of discussions. Just to Sister Aruna's question about the Drishti Chukka and
Raksha
Chukka. So protective marks on the face were placed, and so Sister Aruna is asking what is the significance, and we do not practice it today. So what should we do? Should we practice? I think these are questions Sister Aruna is asking. Because these are traditions and Swami is specifically mentioning them. So I will open up the discussion for anyone who would like to share. Yes, Bina, please go ahead.
Sai Ram, regarding this dress code in the sense like a dhoti, silk and all, obviously in a pilgrimage it's a great lesson for us also. I have seen many nowadays that they go very simple costumes there. Pujaris and performing people, they wear the very traditional one, but we are also must be wearing a very simple clothes while we go for a pilgrimage and all. And Swami has always stressed quite a lot about the modesty, and even in a Gurukula ashram and in going a pilgrimage and so on. Just wanted to let everybody know that as long as we can follow this, the entire tradition of not the simplicity to outlook, but in the Shuddhikaran, Antakaran also very much important. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Bina. Anyone would like to discuss any of the points? Just Sai Ram, Sai Satish.
Paravana. So, Drishti itself means vision. So, in terms of Drishti Chukka, I think from a physical point of view, usually if you even see for babies, they will put a small black dot on the cheek, on the side. The whole purpose being, when we see the moon, the beauty of the moon is no doubt bewitching, but we will see the dark spots on the moon, and that will take away the attention. Likewise, they say in Tamil also, Kalladi Pattalam, Kannadi Padakura, like that, even if you get hit by a stone, the sight of people from a physicality of sense, it can have its own effect. So the idea is if you keep something of a dot that can distract people away from from seeing, and in turn, if that seeing leads to any negative part, it just gets drawn away by seeing that black dot. So if you take like in the sense of if you take a white paper and see a black dot, the whole focus goes on the black dot and not on the white paper. Likewise, when you have a Drishti Chukka, the whole of the vision goes on the Drishti Chukka rather than on the beauty of the thing, which people, if they genuinely see the divinity behind that beauty and enjoy it, then it is fine. But if that causes a sense of unknowing ill will, then that wards away, because the vision or the drishti is directed more towards that. But that is more from the physicality of how things are. But I think earlier also we discussed this part of how even for Swami, they would wave um, this coconut or other things to ward off the evil eye. That is more from a physicality of how people approach for divinity. If you look at the divine aspect, then it doesn't apply at all. But from a physicality of things, based on certain belief systems, and even otherwise, we know sometimes the drishti thing is taken even with salt, because salt can take away the negative energies. So you can traverse along on this drishti thing, looking at it in a very gross, subtle, and causal. From a gross point of view, you will use salt, camphor, or the this drishti thing that is kept. But in terms of the subtle and so on, it is more of diverting the attention in such a manner that it doesn't cause too much focus on that object of beauty. But I'll stop here. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Yes, Dr. Narendra Reddy.
Yeah. Brother Sai Ram, brother. I just want to go back on the point about their dressing, in dress code. And I think the sister who mentioned, I think she very appropriately said, modesty is the key thing, in his spiritual activities. So I just want to extend this thing to how do we follow this thing in our life when I go to our centers, or when you go to Prashanti Nilayam, or when you come to the spiritual activities. We do have a dress code, right?
Yes, brother. Good, brother. Good. I think we can discuss the dress code also, what Swami expects. I think that's what something we can. Thank you very much. If you have something else to add to any of the questions, you can do so. Otherwise, we can ask others to share their thoughts.
I'm okay. I just wanted to raise that issue.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I think no one is offering. So I think first we will address Sister Aruna's question, Drishti. I think Brother Sai Satish has nicely explained. The reality in today's world, when we go out, the human nature is to look attractive to everyone. One is to look pleasant, the other one is to look attractive. Today, everything, whether it is how we groom ourselves or what we wear, is generally for increasing the attractiveness to the world. That's the way everything is done today. But in the past, so which actually causes so much issues in society. And people can say, everyone, if anything bad happened, they will say, why are you blaming us, the victims and things like that. These are discussions which go on. But no one realizes that by just trying to be attractive to the world, we are actually causing in the society unnecessary turmoil. Because people's minds are, they go into turmoil. And as a result, many negative things happen in this world. Whereas in ancient times, they actively realized that that kind of a thing is bad in the society. So generally, they were not dressing up or grooming themselves to attract others. And I think so. Drishti Chukka, that is one thing which actually takes away the attractiveness of a person. Also, is a fact. So that way, you do not create any mental challenges for people around or in the society when you walk around. That is the cause of actually drishti. Because if somebody craves something or wants something or desires something or someone, that causes unnecessary challenges in the human mind. And this is what Swami has also emphasized. And even Sai devotees, they will say when we go to the center, we wear the Swami would say vesham, a costume. But when we go, some other costume we wear once we go out. Ideally, the same costume should be applied everywhere at all times, as much as possible. Modesty, in everywhere is essential. People think it's okay, depending on the place, we can dress differently. But I think that's something which Swami has. If one wants to pursue this sadhana path, one has to follow that. So I think that's why Drishtichukka and Rakshachukka, because the reality, when we go out in the world, we are all exposed to some kind of danger or other. And so these are protective practices which the rishis have prescribed. And it has followed. Maybe today people think it is outdated or primitive or old. People don't follow it, but it's a lack of understanding or intentions have changed today because people want to look modern or attractive. These are problems in this world today. So I will stop there. If anyone else wants to add something, or we can discuss the
So
deck.
this the dots is really bring the attractiveness down, and them others we here they we think that we wanted to protect maybe our beauty or something like that. People say that's why they keep the dots, but here the other way around is we don't want anybody to think um, we don't want to create or jealousy, or we don't want it to
Disturbance in the other person's mind.
disturbing others. So that way
Both.
we are coming to their level or something like that, right? To
Yes.
without showing off. Uh,
Yes.
then they
Yes.
put the dots to bring it down. Oh, okay, that makes sense now.
A black mark
Okay,
is always a distraction, so that some shortcoming
yeah,
also. So that is the way
yeah.
it is understood. And it
Thank
also,
you.
black also attracts all energies, all types of rays it attracts. So that is contained in a particular location, not in the eyes or especially eyes. Any black will attract all kinds of rays, and the black dot will distract and will also absorb anything negative. Both
Sure.
use.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, brother Rohit has his hand up.
Ramakatha, just wanted to add to this Drishti thing. There's also a simple, rather common sense kind of way to look at it, in the sense simply keeping it to karma and desires. I mean, if we remember, if we read that, I'm not talking about the dress part. I'm talking about just the drishti, how they say, when it comes to babies, oh, just please put the black dot, otherwise an evil eye will come on the baby, or the baby will suffer. So if we look at the Krita Yuga incident of the churning of the ocean, where Sriman Narayana had come as Varaha avatar, in that, if we look at that story deeply, we can see that the Lord is actually impartial to the Devtas and the Asuras. The Lord did not, yeah, towards the end, when the Asuras were about to win their evil, this thing of taking the nectar, then the Lord intervened. But up until right till the end, the Lord let the Devtas suffer at the hands of Asuras, and it has gone through many of the Upanishad stories. If you listen, the Devtas will suffer till the end. It's because in the eyes of the Lord, everybody is equal. So whoever has the stronger desire, whoever has the stronger effort, or whoever has the stronger will, at the end of the day, for at least some moment of time, even if he is a bad person, he or she is a bad, will be able to succeed against the good person if that good person's will is not strong enough. Just like how the Kauravas were able to kick the Pandavas out for 14 years. Doesn't matter if the Pandavas were very good or were brilliant or very pure from heart, or they were very close to Lord Krishna. Kauravas won at that moment because their will was stronger. They were smarter than the Pandavas. So if we look at it from a drishti perspective, the reason why, one way to look at it is to protect ourselves in case our will is not strong. Because if we try to show off our success, our skills, our talent, or whatever what God has gifted us, there is somebody out there who may have the evil of jealousy in them. And if their will turns out to be stronger than yours, then this good thing can go away from you. And God might allow that to happen, because at the end of the day, as per the universal law of equality, that person's desire and will is stronger. So I think Drishti and Nazar, the mother also puts on the child as a protective this thing, because I think the child at that moment of time does not have a strong enough will to be able to counter any kind of evil or jealous desires that may be wished upon by another bad person. Just thought I'll add that.
Thank you very much, Rohit. Yes, Sitara.
Sai Ram Anna, just extending the discussion. I think so far what we have discussed is about as a recipient of drishti. I think we should also remind ourselves that we are also source of drishti. So wherever we go, it is always, as Swami said, I think, see good, do good, be good. So sarvendriyanam nayanam pradhanam. So whatever we see, I think if we are able to wish good for them, if we see a happy family, wish good about them. If we see anything that is very attractive or pleasant, still if we can purify our thoughts and direct it towards others, I think that itself is the sadhana that we can do. While drishti, chukkas and all these things, we continue to keep them in place. But how can we change as an individual is we can start spreading those good thoughts through our whatever we see, whichever with whomever we interact. If we can, I think, do that, I think we'll be closer to Swami. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Sitara. Thank you. So we'll go discuss the attire. The attire which Sri Radha brothers put on just as they embarked on the pilgrimage from the palace itself. Is simple dress, modest dress, and so on. So I think Dr. Reddy wanted to discuss this. What should the devotees do? What is there to learn from this? I think something which we can discuss. Anyone would like to share any thoughts? Please do so. Yes, Sister Shilpa, please go ahead.
Sai Ram, can we say that this attire, when we go to holy places, it shows the it shows, or it brings the bhava of vairagya and bhakti. That's why we go with simplicity and yeah, that's it. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Yes, Sai Satish.
Right, Ramana. So, Swami tells of the story of an actor who comes to this court of the king, and he is dressed as a sannyasi. And that day he comes and he gives a very profound lecture on Advaitam and all of that. And even as he finishes that and he's about to leave, the king asks his minister to give him this bahumati, basically gifts and so on for his the lecture that he had given, and this person says, no, I don't accept it. The next day, the same actor, he comes back now he comes as a dancer. And then when he comes as a dancer, the way he performs, Swami says his feet literally does not touch the earth. His performance is so wonderful. Everybody is in raptures. And at the end of that performance, the minister recognizes that this person is the same actor who came yesterday in the guise of the sannyasi, and today he has come as the dancer. And so the king now asks once again the gifts and everything to be given. And when the minister goes and gives this gift to the dancer says, I want some more. This is not enough. And so the minister says, if I may ask, yesterday you said that you don't want anything, and today you are saying, I want more. And so the actor says that yesterday I was in the guise of a sannyasi, and my conduct should be in accordance with my vesham, the costume I have worn, and that time I cannot take. Now I have come as a nartaki, come as a dancer, and so for this costume, I'm here to take that what befits as a pay for that. So if you just extend it, when we are, even when we, like what Brother Narendra was saying, when we go to the center, when we go to Prashanti Nilayam and so on, he says generally we wear whites. So one is the wearing whites, like Swami would say, if on the white cloth a small dirt appears, it is very, very visible to everyone. And so that much effort is made to always keep it clean. So likewise on the external, when that purity is maintained, it reflects on internally the mind and how much pure it has to be kept. Any small thing that appears, any negative trait that appears, it has to be cleaned continuously and kept in that state of pristine purity. So that is where, when anyone is going on a pilgrimage and these kind of things, the tendency is generally like when we light agarbatti, when we light camphor, it is to signal to the mind that now an activity of whether bhajans or prayers is about to begin, and it intentionally sets the mind, or it tunes the mind to go into that mode. So likewise, when we have the attire worn on the outside, that reinforces the principle on the inside. And that is where, again, doing that time and again, and even as we maintain the purity on the outside, we work towards the purity on the inside. So I'll stop here. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Sai. So I think maybe because you have introduced the topic, so the thing is it okay for us to wear different costumes and put on different guises in our life?
So long as there are no vices, any guise is fine, Anna.
Okay, thank you. So I will open it up for anyone else to share any thoughts. So I'm reminded of, yes, Uncle Gopalan, please go ahead.
Sai Ram. But in generally in India, when you go to the temples, you get prasad as either as vibhuti or kumkum or sandalwood paste to put it on your forehead. So just want to make a point. Thank you.
Sai Ram. See, generally, clothes is an important aspect of sadhana. That's why the sannyasins who take up sannyasa, who have given up any worldly ambition, who are dedicating their life for their final goal, always wear the same dress. Just the way Swami wore the same dress. They would wear the ochre robe at all times. They do not change. Because they also are people who want to experience divinity everywhere. We all say, we have to see Swami everywhere, all that. If we see Swami everywhere, then we should also be dressing as if Swami is everywhere. Everywhere is a center. Everywhere is a Prashantalam. Ideally, that's the way it should be. I think that's one of the steps. The more we do that, the more we are acknowledging the presence of the Lord everywhere. So that if suddenly Swami shows up, are we ready to face him? Or, I think that's something which everyone has to ask for themselves. So to the greatest degree possible, modesty and the principles of simplicity has to be followed in our dress, is the way I personally feel. Hopefully one day we will become sannyasis and wear the same cloth at all times, everywhere, before we die. Because that's essential, as Sister Shilpa said, that shows vairagya. Vairagya, which is continuous. which encompasses every minute of our existence. So as much as possible, if we can maintain that decorum which we maintain in Swami's presence, I think is good for us. So I will leave it at that. Um, so I hope, yes, I'm sorry, Satish.
Ramana, based on what you said, you just triggered one thought. Like Swami would say that usually the cameraman will say ready, and then the
Click.
photo is taken. But God is not like that. So you should always be ready with God. So like how you're saying, always being in Swami's constant presence will tell us how we should be, both our physical makeup and mental makeup.
Yes.
It'll tell both the things. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Sai Ram. So it's an aspirational goal for everyone, I guess. And
But this, sorry,
yes, sister.
there's one more thing. Swami says spirituality is not only you have to keep within clean, right? Externally also you have to be clean, right? So the attire is very much important as prescribed by Swami. Already Swami has said how to dress up. The cleanliness not only inside, outside too. Just I thought I would find out. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you, sister. So if everyone is okay and there, oh yes, Sai Ram Sanjay.
Sai Ram, I just wanted to add one comment or notice one thing here. The citizens of Ayodhya, their joy when the children are actually leaving Ayodhya is something to be noted because, as Swami has described in the previous sections, um, the children were very much the heart of Ayodhya, and Ayodhya was their body, and in such a way, and there was so much joy when right from when King Dilipa's children his son was born, and when King Dasharatha did not have children in the beginning, and when after the Putra Kameshti Yagna, the children were born, there was so much joy. But yet, them cheering on as they are leaving the town shows a level of the joy is always for the best of the kingdom, for society, that they're going on this pilgrimage for their own learning, and they will come back and be able to discharge their duties as king at a future date, which will benefit the entire society. It's the lack of selfish interest in that, in the joy that they gain from the company of the children of Dasharatha, something I thought was worth noticing.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you. So I think whenever, yes, Sai Ram Bina, please go ahead.
And I just want to mention that I just remember that when I was small, when I was a child, my father and his colleagues, and they had a tour going to Rameshwaram and all the South India. They had booked the whole compartment of the train to go from Gujarat to, because it takes a several stoppage and all. But I also noticed at the same time when he came back, they had a cook with them to feed them the lavish food. Of course, the Gujaratis are the most popular eatery kind of a people. Anyway, I want to just bring that one now, that it is not just the attire. Probably at this point we can also add, it is possible that the food should be also eaten very simple when you are on a pilgrimage or anywhere else. Also, it shouldn't be too much lavish in that case. What do you have to think about that? It just brings the memory that that was a wrong thing. If I have to say now, that why can't you just have a very simple food at the same time when we have this spiritual sadhana is going on? Here it's not mentioned, of course, but it just came to my mind. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, I think Swami has covered it, saying that there are maids going along with them. So there are people who would support all activities, I think, accompanying. Actually, Manianti can speak to it. In those days, even Parthi, when you're going to Parthi, you have to take your stove and vegetables and groceries and go. There is no canteen, no shops, nothing. So, Auntie, if you want to share.
Yeah, in those days, even groceries were not available in Parthi. They had to be brought from Bukkapatnam. And I must mention that Swami's father, he used to go to Bukkapatnam and bring groceries for us. So we used to request him, and he would kindly bring them and then deliver it to us. So that was the day. Not kerosene. I think we used firewood to cook. So it was simple food which we used to do. Sai Ram.
Yeah, I think food is also important. People try to take sattvic food as much as possible, but not everyone was able to even carry many of these things. So for that, there were whatever chatras were there. There were caravansaries or whatever they call. Camps, camping grounds. They were also available in those days because kings used to construct them for pilgrims, for them to have their food and stay overnight and things like that. So I think various things were done, but as princes, they had enough people to go with. Not everyone, if one person is going, they may not be able to carry everything. If they went as a group, as Sister Beena said, they were able to go cook with the cook. They can take everything and take part. That's one reason pilgrimages were done as a group in those days also. Saira. Shall we, if everyone is okay, shall we proceed to the next slide? Yes. Uncle Gopala.
Sai Ram. Days, weeks, even months rolled by. They went to every temple and sacred spot. They imbibed the holiness of each place. They worshipped at each shrine with faith and devotion. They learnt, after deep inquiry, the history of each place and the antecedents of the shrines. They ignored every other thought or activity during all that long period. Sumantra was describing to them the sanctity of each place so graphically and intimately that their hearts were thrilled. The princess plied him with questions demanding further and deeper elaboration of his narrations. Sumantra was overjoyed at the insatiable yearning of the boys, and he gave even more information and inspiration. Thus, they journeyed from Kanyakumari to Kashmir and from the eastern sea to the western, spending more than 3 months. They had their eyes open to the sufferings of the people and the discomforts of the pilgrims in every region of the empire. And whenever they observed these, they pleaded with Sumantra, the minister, to set things right and to provide the needed amenities. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Uncle. Auntie, shall we read the Telugu?
Yeah. 1 minute. దినములు వారములు గడిచిపోయెను.
Days and weeks passed.
ప్రతి క్షేత్రమును ప్రతి తీర్థమును దర్శించి పూజించి విషయములను విచారించి
At every sacred spot and every sacred river, they had darshan, they worshipped, and they inquired about the significance.
అత్యంత ఉత్సాహంతో భక్తి శ్రద్ధలతో అన్యవాంఛలకు చోటివ్వక నిరంతరం క్షేత్రముల విశేష చరిత్రములను సుమంతుడు చెప్పుచుండ
with great enthusiasm and with great devotion and faith, without giving room for any other thought, with continuously at each sacred place, they are inquiring about the significant and the story history, and these were narrated by Sumantra to them.
పిల్లలు శ్రద్ధాళురై ఇంకేమిటి అని క్షేత్ర విశేషములను విపులముగా అడుగుచుండేవారు.
So the children also, with great attention, they asked them, "Oh, what else? What else?" Thus, they inquired about the significance of each sacred spot in an elaborate way.
వారల శ్రద్ధా భక్తులకు సుమంతుడు ఎంతయో ఆనందించుచు మరిన్ని విషయములు తెలుపుచుండెడివాడు.
So Sumantra was overjoyed by the devotion and the faith of the youngsters, and he explained to them more and more details about the kshetras.
ఈ రీతిగా కన్యాకుమారి మొదలు కాశ్మీర్ వరకు ఉత్తర దక్షిణ తూర్పు పడమర సముద్ర తీరములు వరకును.
So in this manner, from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, and from the western
ఉత్తర దక్షిణ తూర్పు.
Okay, so from from the east to west, Turpu Padamara. So they went to the shores of the oceans on west and east coasts, and Tiramula to that extent.
పడమర అంటే పశ్చిమమా సీతారా?
వెస్ట్ ఆంటీ.
వెస్ట్ కదా.
Uttara Dakshina means I think
Uttara north. Uttara is north. Dakshina south. Turpu east. Padamara west.
Yeah, Turpu is east.
All four directions.
All four directions. Thank you.
సముద్రముల తీరముల వరకును గల క్షేత్రములను 3-4 మాసములు సంచారము సలిపి.
So they went around to all the sacred spots, covering all the four sides of the country for 3 to 4 months.
మధ్య మధ్య ఆయా రాజ్యములు అందుగల కొన్ని ప్రజా అననుకూలములను.
So in the middle, here and there, at different kingdoms, they looked at the discomforts of the citizens.
యాత్రికుల అనానుకూలమును గుర్తించి.
Also the discomforts of the pilgrims.
మంత్రితో చెప్పి వాటిని సరిచేయించుచు.
So they told the minister about them, and they made them address them.
దైవ మందిరముకు తగిన ఏర్పాట్లు భద్రతలు కల్పించుచు.
So they also made sure for the protection and to look after the temples of gods appropriately.
అనేక విధముల యాత్రికులకు నీటి వసతులు. I don't think he has read it. That's it.
I think observe these needed amenities. I think that's so.
Okay. మందిరితో చెప్పి
maybe there were other things. I think there are other things, so we will leave it, Auntie. Yeah,
we'll leave it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you, Auntie.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, everyone. So Swami is as detailed. I think Swami has not specifically mentioned any kshetra name, but he says they covered the entire country completely for 3 to 4 months. They went around. So I'll stop here. Anyone would like to discuss any of the points? Yes, Uncle Gopala.
Sai Ram. Swami is telling us what we should be doing when we go on a pilgrimage. So, how we should have a deep inquiry, the history, and all these things, and grasp all the holiness from each place. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Uncle. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts? Yes, Sitaram, please go ahead.
Sai Ram, this may sound like a small advertisement for the retreat, but I thought this is the right place to uh, call out to all our fellow pilgrims that we are having a spiritual Tirtha Yatra this July. I think Swami has shown and written here what are the qualities that we must have. I think one important quality that Swami is mentioning is they have Shraddha and Bhakti. I think if we can see every satsang where all of us meet as with these qualities, I think we are imbibing the values that Ramayana is teaching us. I thought I'll mention that. And incidentally, our retreats theme also is Satsangatve Nisangatvam. So I think pilgrimage, every pilgrimage is a symbol of Satsanga, which leads to Nisangatvam. Sai Ram.
So, Sitaram, you didn't mention about the attire and things like that.
That I will leave it to Narendra brother and you, Anna, as the lead.
Thank you.
Sai
Yes, Sister Ananthi.
Sai Ram, brothers and sisters, it's a very nice discussion. I also thought that maybe what I take away from this passage that maybe whether Swami is telling that whether if we have children, whether we have to take them to the pilgrimages, and also this is the important part I have taken. They had their eyes open to the sufferings of the people and the discomforts of the pilgrims in every region of the empire. So maybe as parents, maybe the children should be taken in their childhood. Maybe children can be from various level of the facilities at home, or the upper class, middle class, maybe underprivileged, privileged families. So if they want to see how how the people are living, with with maybe in a very maybe poverty stage, or maybe middle class stage, or sufferings. So the maybe I take it in that way. Maybe if we have a chance, take our children to the pilgrimages and show them how other children are living in this earth, without having the facilities you are having. And also, I just thought about the attire. When we go to the school, maybe back home, we always wear the uniform, that brings the maybe, the equal level, regardless of, rich family, or, the middle family, or, the poor family, we all mingle together. So the external, the attire, it wouldn't make any difference. So we will feel much more comfortable, the interacting with other, the children, or, the sharing the things and all those things. So the Swami is telling that when you go for pilgrimages, you all wear, of course, the brothers, all of them in patti, or you all wear maybe the white and white, there's no difference. But the ladies, we wear different types of attires, the maybe different types of saris, or maybe that is a little questionable. Maybe in some other Prashanti Nilayam, there is no restriction, but some other ashrams, they all have to wear the white and white, including ladies, and that is the one I just wanted to share. Maybe children should be taken for pilgrimages to just show them, the different levels of life and the hardship, and the how they are having at their home, the privileges and all those things. I just wanted to share.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Reddy.
Sai Ram, brother. Thanks. I fully endorse what Sister has just said, because it is very important that children see these things firsthand, and they should be encouraged to go to this, come to our retreats, and go on pilgrimage, because uh, what I wanted to add here was that once they are grown up, it's very difficult to tell them things, because by age 10 or 12, just like our life is very much determined by the age 10 or 12. So it is very important for them, because with the rising income, many people, our devotees, our followers, or generally in our society, people are moving on, but they might not know how others live, how others' lives are affected, because there might be poor people all over, and you are a leader, you are the king or the minister. So 100% plus, we should encourage and bring our children to our events and our activities, and going on pilgrimages, so they can see and appreciate, and see, they might change their mind. They might think more about philanthropy, helping others, and how others live. So I fully endorse this suggestion. And just to add on to this, when we go through this study cycle, one of the key points is, how has it affected us, and what are we learning, and what are we taking home? Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. It's as you said, our discussions of how we can live, how we should live. I think these are things which all of us are discussing, learning from the example set by Sri Rama and the brothers. I think it's very nice for all of us. Some practical way of how we can live, how we can emulate that kind of a life is very nice. Thank you very much, brother. I think we nicely discussed various aspects which were brought up here. Anyway, Sai Ram, Sai Satish.
Sorry, Raman, I was just going to say that from a broader context, we can always say we are pilgrims for life. So that way, the way we live our day-to-day life itself can be embraced. That way, looking forward to for a pilgrimage to happen, all that is no doubt external reminders. But if we can say that we are pilgrims for life, that bent of mind will help us more in our daily life and conversation itself. It'll changed the way we approach things. So just wanted to add, Sai Ram.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Yes, Sister Vani.
Sai Ram, brother. So here we are talking about these pilgrimages to holy places and all that, but the actual journey is inwards, right? So these are kind of more towards Bhakti Marga. Is that how? Or these are places where we can just go charge ourselves, but the actual journey happens inwards.
Thank you very much, Sister. So, Sister has asked this, I think, touched a very nice point. These are external, physical level pilgrimages. There's an inward journey also. So, anyone who would like to comment or share your thoughts, please? Yes, Rohit.
Sai Ram, uncle. So, with regards to sister's question here, so it's given in the Tapovanam. We had discussed last week how Swami had gone to various pilgrimage centers to recharge them with the Shakti, and so the in that it was. I mean, when you read through it, it's understood that so when the reason why we are asked to do these pilgrimages is the same reason why we go to Prashantinayam, right? So I mean, there is a difference when an avatar has come or you go to a Tirtha Sthanam or a Shakti Peeth, is that the energy of God or the power of God, however you want to call it. I mean, different people use different terms, but it's like, you're taking your car to your gas station, right? So you got to fill yourself with the necessary fuel to make the journey. So same way when we go to such pilgrimage, especially the ones that either Swami has himself physically gone and recharged, or to Prashantilayam, if that's what one prefers. So it's there to go to recharge yourself. So you have that momentum, that energy to travel um, towards inwards or towards Swami, however one likes to believe. And so I think that's why pilgrimages are there, is so that you can accelerate your journey rather than making it slow. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Rohit. Yes, Sai Satish.
So I was just going to say that Swami says that when you go to the temple and stand in front of the idol, what do? We close our eyes. So the whole purpose is at the end of the day to see the divine that is there on the outside, inside, and that's the purpose of like going to a temple. And if we extend it to the context of a pilgrimage, I think once we say a pilgrimage is to happen, for example, we had gone to Prashantinayam in 2024. So way ahead in Jan and Feb of 2024, our mindset was, okay, we are going to Parthi in December. What should we do there? So the whole year, actually, only going to Parthi in December was not the pilgrimage. The whole year became the pilgrimage, because every weekend was spent with the thought how we can do something in Parthi in front of Swami there. And so what essentially the pilgrimage does is, though it comes for a few days in the calendar, the preparation for that pilgrimage makes the whole journey itself so very beautiful. And essentially, it is preparing us on the inside, because we are going to a place, and even when we go to that place, we perform whatever we need to do in front of Swami there. We essentially, at the end, we just close our eyes and then envision that on the inside. So essentially, the journey is happening on the inside. And if we extend it and then make that thing, that life itself, we know that we have come here on a pilgrimage to earth. We know that it is to Swami that we belong to. And so every moment we are here, if that feeling gets reinforced, then the whole part itself becomes a journey. Though it is physically looked at as if the journey is happening on the outside for a human being to go through from childhood all the way till old age, but the journey is happening on the inside of traversing towards Swami. So just wanted to reinforce that, Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Yes, Sister Aruna, you had your hand up.
Sai Ram, brother. As Brother Sai Satish mentioned, all these pilgrimage allow us to travel inwardly until the time we can control our senses and control our mind to focus like every moment, Swami, the pilgrimage is needed for these holy places to concentrate our mind. So these are the things allow us to go inwardly more deeper. So for a point of time, I would the pilgrimage will help us to go inwardly. Thank you, Sai.
Thank you, Sister. Yes, Sitaram.
Sai Ram, just adding another layer of understanding on pilgrimages. Like Kwani sister pointed out, yes, the inner journey is most important, but where are we journeying is a question, right? Like, if we do not know what is there inside, then it is pilgrimages that teach us what is inside. Just like we know there is a lot of debate around idol worship. Why should we have idol worship? Like they say in Hinduism, there are everything is God. Whatever you see, they start putting it as God. But I think what Swami has always emphasized about external worship or these pilgrimages is that as we go and explore and understand what is happening in that place, that will help us conceive the actual form of what is inside us, because everything is a reflection of the inner self. So, for example, I think in one of the satsangs that we had in our centers, I recall about Sri Sailam, where Swami tells about Lord Mallikarjuna and Brahmaramba. So, if we just go to Sri Sailam as uh, there is a linga and we'll go do Abhishekam and come back, there is no value in what we have done. Yes, maybe nominal value would have been there because we are there because of Sthala Prabhava. There could be some impact on us if you are in the right mindset. But if we were not to understand the importance of that form which is there, we would never understand that Lord is somebody who's very pure and Prakriti is something like Brahmaramba, which is a bee which would suck honey from that pure heart. So I think those understandings will stay with us forever, and such insights will make our inner journey even more joyful, and it will shed across light towards the final destination, which is again inside us. And hence, I think pilgrimages are very, very important in everyone's life. And I still recall so many uh, devotees who come back from Parthi in our childhood. We used to ask them, please narrate what happened, and they used to narrate it with so much enthusiasm about Swami's day or Swami's darshan, and that itself gave us so much of interest and yearning to go to Puttaparthi. So I think both going and sharing those experiences is, I think, must be there in everyone's life with Swami's grace. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Sitaram. Anyone else has something to say? Yes, Rohit.
Uncle, I'd just like to read a short discourse that Swami had given on pilgrimages in 1972. I'd just like to quote Swami. It's a short paragraph. I'll just begin. Pilgrimages impress on people the lesson of unity. They bring together people from all corners of the world, irrespective of language or locality. The places of pilgrimage are also distributed all over the land. Festivals like the Dashera at Prashanti Nilayam bring together sadhakas from all the continents, irrespective of religion, caste, creed, and color. They are all motivated by the same urge to involve themselves more and more in attempts to realize their innate divinity. They have met here to enjoy the supreme delight in the holy presence of the Lord and to recognize the unity of all in the divine Atmic splendor. That's what Swami said. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Rohit. Very nice. Anyone else has something to say? Yes, Sanjay.
Sai Ram. Now, just to add to some of the beautiful points that have already been made, I think one of the things is most of us, as I think even Sister Aruna said, the senses and mind are constantly pulling us in different directions. And so when that is the case, it is best to at least make an effort to take them in a direction that is beneficial to us. That's the first point. Second point is, today, because of our association and fortune of having accessed Swami's messages, we are confidently at least declaring and saying that God is within us. Otherwise, to most people, that is a very abstract concept. Even to us, actually, even after knowing that, it's an abstract concept. How do we journey towards that concept that we have only heard from others, and to varying degrees have some kind of a belief and maybe faith in it? It's a very abstract concept. Lastly, I would say, a couple times, once many times Swami has said this, but I think couple times that I remember, Swami said, take Prashanti Nilayam with you to wherever you go. Right? Then you don't need to come here. So, but many a times, conveniently, people have just taken the second part of it and start saying, oh, you don't need to go to Prashanti Nilayam because Swami is right here. When is Swami right here? If you have taken Prashanti Nilayam with you. And what does it mean to take Prashanti Nilayam with you? That is a whole nother lifetime's journey, for which we keep going to this pilgrimage site. So the senses are honed in onto this external pointer that points towards these towards the until now abstract concept, and keep helping us in this journey inwards. But until that stage is reached, it's best to keep the senses occupied in these kind of activities. And as Satish also nicely pointed out, that goal of that pilgrimage at the end of the year or whenever it is, hopefully keeps us occupied for that period, and all of which helps in purifying the chitta and mind. I'll stop right there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sanjay. Sister Aruna, you had your hand up. Anything?
And brother, I just wanted to add to that what Sanjay also mentioned. When you go to the pilgrimage, the places itself gives you a understanding why you are here, what are the things you have to do, and it will start we start thinking, and we will always start thinking of how blessed we are and what are the things we have to do. All kind of the control of mind start from there. So it's a pilgrimage is needed, like seeing the atmosphere and how the day-to-day activities takes place, and it will turn your mind to inwardly. That's why the pilgrimage, every places has their own way of connecting you inwardly. That's why the pilgrimages are needed, kind of. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, sister. Yes, Sister Shivani.
Sai Ram, just a thought here. The second line, they learned about deep inquiry. After the deep inquiry, the history of each place, and the following line, they ignored every other thought of activity during all that full period. It reminds me of, we have been at different study circles talking about smaranam, maranam, nididhyasam. So I'm just thinking that, many times we listen, the deep inquiry is critical. And once we add the mananan, then definitely it will take away our thoughts from from unnecessary things. And because we are in deep mananam. So I found it quite interesting that how important it is to have deep inquiry. And why I'm saying as well, it's so fresh in my mind. My father-in-law just passed away, so we had a Pandit, Garud Puran he was reading, and Bhagavad Gita, and that's what he was saying, that people stop asking questions and doing deep inquiry. He was keep emphasizing those who were there at his funeral. So just a good thought there. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, sister. So maybe it's 10:14. Maybe I will just share some thoughts and then maybe we can close. I think one of the things which we have to understand is this pilgrimage was undertaken by Sri Rama himself. Sri Rama could have said, I am divine. I know that I am divine. I don't need to go. But he undertook the pilgrimage to show us that it's important, number one. Number two, Swami has always said, Manasekam, Vachasekam, Karmanyekam, Mahatmanam. That means everything which we do in this world, the thought, word, and deed have to be aligned, which basically means physical journey, mental journey, and the Atmic journey are all three are equally important for any sadhana to be fruitful. So the physical journey is only to a physical location. Mental journey is to mental location. Both have to be undertaken for us to really benefit. It has become a fashion today for many people to say, oh, Prashantalam is everywhere, Swami is everywhere. And these are being repeated by people who find Ashanti in Prashanti Nilayam itself. When they go to Prashanti Nilayam, they find it's a place full of Ashanti. Such people are making these pronouncements that they are finding Prashanti Nilayam wherever they are. And this is doing such a disservice, and I think we all should be beware of that kind of a philosophy and talk. So the physical location is equally important. A physical journey has to be undertaken by the body. The mind has to undertake its journey, and the Atma has to undertake its journey. So all three have to be there for this pilgrimage on earth. And Swami has at many places emphasized on this. That's why Swami always said, come to Prashanti. So it is, then Swami says, if it is too expensive, don't need to come. But people who are making other trips should understand that they can make the pilgrimage also. I think that's all I would say. So physical journey is equally important, as much as important as the mental journey. Physical journey without the mental journey is useless. Mental journey without the physical journey is also useless. So just to illustrate that point, I will tell a story. I think all of you know. Mother Draupadi was being derobed by the Kauravas. She was calling out to Krishna in all these names, but with the hands she was holding on to the sari. The body had not renounced and taken refuge, but the mind was calling out. At the time when she let go of her hand and then worshipped only Krishna, Krishna took over. So until such time, until the physical world, body was not surrendering, mental surrender is not effective. So even the surrender has to be physical, mental, and at the Atmic level. So I think we should understand this, and Swami has spoken about it many places. And Sri Rama, who is divine embodiment himself, went around on this pilgrimage. He could have given lecture, I am Avatar, I am God, he did not. So I think we should pay attention to this. And Swami, as Rohit had also said, Swami went around to many pilgrim spots to re-energize them. Somnath, Kedarnath, Dwaraka, and name it, he has been around. So I think just he has laid emphasis on a physical pilgrimage. So with those thoughts, I thought we close. I will just pause if anyone has something to say, if I've triggered something. If not, we'll close with Samastaloka prayer.
Brother, very nice. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, sister. We'll close with the Samastaloka prayer and we will close the session and meet next week. Sai Ram. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sai Ram, everyone. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai